Hi everybody. Hi. It's just Eric and I. It's just us. This guy up here. How's it going, gang?
Oh, you're down here. I'm up here.
Yeah, you're up there.
Yeah.
You're
What's up, bud?
You're above me. Ah. So yeah, welcome to the Swole Initiative Network. We are doing a community night. We're going to be making some tier lists. But before we do that, we're going to dive into just a few sponsors, a few people that help pay the bills, keep the lights on. The first one I'm going to talk about is Norse Foundry. Norse Foundry, you may be hearing some pretty sick lo-fi beats. Those are all courtesy of Norse Foundry. They have sell dice. They do all our giveaways. Anything that you need from Norse Foundry, you can certainly find. You can check it out. And you use the code SWOLE and get 10% off of your order with the link in the chat. So go check them out. Again, that's over at Norse Foundry. And then we can also talk about Hero Forge. Hero Forge, custom player minis come from the awesome Hero Forge. You can go over and design yours at heroforge.com. They're great, and they're painted or unpainted, however you want. If you want to order gray ones and paint them yourself, you can do that. Not so good at painting, like me, order them fully painted. I won't knock you for it because I have zero artistic skill when it comes to that. So next up we have Dogmite. Dogmite, they have really cool stuff. I wish I was Jay because I could show you some really cool stuff that they've built. But I don't have that stuff. But they have amazing products. You can get 15% off using the code SWOLE over at dogmite.com. Link in the chat. Please go check them out. They have amazing top tier products. They are incredible. They have roll boxes, they have dice trays, towers, all kinds of stuff. DM blinds, you name it. Go check them out over at dogmite.com. And then we have Griffin Co. I don't have a Griffin noise queued up, but cacaw. That was actually pretty good. Thank you, Eric. So everything that we see on for maps we have over at Griffin Co. And you can use the code SWOLE22 to get 22% off your order over at Griffin Co. So go check them out for even more fun D&D stuff. Last but not least, we have a little thing, a little tiny thing. This small company called YouTube. We work with them sometimes. We do some videos, do some fun stuff. Go check it out over on our YouTube. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs. It is free for you and it helps us out a ton. So if you're not subscribed, please go do so. And we greatly appreciate it. I think that's it. Oh, one last thing. If you want to meet us in person, maybe if you can find us, we're going to Gen Con. Some of us will be there. I know Eric, you'll be there.
Heck yes.
We're gonna be roommates for a weekend. Some roomies over at Gen Con. And Jay's gonna be running both a panel and a main stage show. Both of the events are right there in the chat. Go check them out. Buy some tickets. Come hang out with us. Come meet and greet us. Yeah, have a good old fun time. So if you're going to be at Gen Con, come find us.
I'm super stoked for Gen Con.
I
can't believe it's coming up like so fast.
It's going to be a blast. I'm super pumped. It is. I'm like panicking. I'm like, oh, I need to like plan out my like a cosplay or two. I know I have the one that I'm
right.
doing.
Yeah. Oh, and also the Crit Awards are happening.
Yes,
there, which we have a nomination for.
Yes, thank you for the reminder, Eric. I appreciate you. So we are in the finals for the Crit Awards, and if you want to go vote for us for the best up-and-coming TTRPG channel on Twitch, you can click the link in the chat. And if you voted for us once, awesome. If you could go back and vote for us in the finals, that would be even cooler. And we greatly appreciate that. Thank you for the reminder, Eric. Once your Deadpool cosplay is done, you'll crash every and all the cons. Okay. All right, Ronan. Okay, Ronan. Ronan, okay. But yeah, gang. So tonight we're going to be talking about some tier lists. I've thrown Eric into the fray. He has been unprepared for what we are going to be doing tonight. So I was just telling him before we started. I was like, he's like, what are we doing tonight? I'm like, oh, we're doing this. He's like, I'm gonna go grab some books.
Yeah, I had to ask what a tier list was. Not gonna lie.
Honestly, I respect you for that, because if you know what a tier list is, then you've probably been on YouTube too long. You've gone down some rabbit holes, which is I've done myself, which is why I know what a tier list is. So a bit of respect for you on that one. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop over to these tier lists and get this thing started, shall we?
Let's do it.
Shwam. All right. So our first tier list is going to be on classes. So barbarians, paladins, monks, rogues, you name it. We're just going to go down the order and give our reasoning as to why we think something should be in a tier list, and at what ranking.
In the ranking order,
Okay.
are we ranking? I mean, what fun to play, like damage?
Oh,
like,
okay, I
What's
gotcha.
the criteria as to what we're ranking them on?
Ooh, okay, that's a hot question. It's a hot question. I'm thinking, that's tough, because we gotta put a slant on this, or else it could be completely arbitrary. So I hadn't thought that far. Let's see.
I ask questions. I need clarity.
Yeah, clarity. You gotta cast clairvoyance. Let's see. I would say probably.
I would say probably not like fun to play, because that's too broad. Like
Yeah, that is pretty broad. Yeah. I would say probably, if we're gonna re-ranking these, I would say we rank these as far as effective as a team player.
Ooh.
And
Okay.
that goes for both battles and social situations.
Yes. Yeah.
So if we're going by effectiveness in battle and social situations, I think that's where we're gonna take that.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there's, I mean, you could have fun with any class if you
100%.
have the imagination for it. So we'll take that slant on it. Effectiveness. So first up we have barbarian. So barbarian, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drop it in C class, just to get it on the board to see what we're talking about.
Okay.
So we have barbarian. Barbarian. Let's start off with how effective they are in a fight. Thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think you're gonna need, like, when it comes to what a party needs, you're gonna need someone up close to make sure that they keep the people in the back, casters, like myself, safe.
That's true. That's true.
They are certainly effective at drawing, pulling the aggro, if you will.
Pulling and pushing aggro.
Yes.
That's a good point.
But are they more unique than, like, are they like higher class than like a fighter or a monk? That would also be like right up there, trying to pull that.
That's true. I mean, through brute,
because they can take a beating though.
That's true. That's true.
They got a lot of HP.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, effectiveness in fighting. I mean, effectiveness in battle. I'd say that they're A tier. And then social situations. That's a wide array. So
Sure.
I'm thinking, but
they intimidation though.
Right.
High intimidation.
So I'm thinking that barbarian. I mean, it's a classic. I think that with barbarian, we could probably put them. I think a barbarian's B tier.
Yeah, I was kind of in between A and B tier.
Yeah, I think B tier, because barbarians, while they are effective in battle, they're not the most effective. They're kind of and they can do other things, because there's a lot of homebrew things they can do, or subclasses that can do things. But they're kind of a one-trick pony. And they do one thing really, really well. So effectiveness in battle, that could be easily mitigated if you're not careful.
Yeah.
So I'll take that a bit away.
We'll stay with the. Yeah, I think we can keep it a B tier.
Okay. Can anyone else do the one thing they do though? No, that is true. So that's why they get a bump up from C. They're not your average bear, but yeah, you can easily get. I think you could easily get on without a barbarian. I think they're not a necessity, but they are helpful for sure. I don't think any one class is not helpful, because that would just be a bad game design.
I can just feel Betty's disappointment.
I know. Betty's like, what? I can hear her
what
raging.
Is their problem?
Yeah, I can hear her raging from the other time zone.
Exactly.
Yeah. What are you drinking there, Eric?
I am drinking a lemongrass ginger rooibos tea.
I am drinking.
How about you?
I am drinking a lemon ginger tea.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Twinsies.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Your mug is by far classier than mine for a lot of reasons.
Oh my god. This is epic. Now this is my how do you want to do this mug gifted to me by my players.
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that too. Yeah, a fighter could be a replacement for barbarians. That's true. That's true. So we're gonna go down the list here. Let's talk about bards.
Cool, man. Bards have so many options.
I know. I'm partial to bards, so I'm a little biased, but I think they're kind of your utility player.
Yeah. I mean, right off the bat, I would argue for like S or A class, and because of how much they can get away with, not only in social situations. I mean, you're talking about like convincing people to do things, like that's your bard character. But you also have a caster that can do a bunch of control. You even have the ability to do some like healing as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a lot of people play bards that are melee.
Yeah, College of Swords.
Yeah, it's a lot less common.
For sure. I agree with that. I think their effectiveness in battle is unparalleled, because I think they don't excel at any one thing, but they can even the playing field in almost any situation. So that's where their effectiveness doesn't come in like a min-max sort of way like a barbarian would with raw strength. I think they come in as like I said before, like a utility player. As soon as the bard slays a dragon, straight to F tier. That's a great joke. Well played, Ronan. So I think honestly, I think bard might be S tier, because if we've talked about battle, but when we talk about social situations, charisma off the charts.
Yeah, and baked into their character class. I think I would vote S tier based off of not just like utility, but the flexibility on how you can play them. Like you can kind of go any direction you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would say bard is definitely S tier, just because there's so many ways to build them. They're so customizable. Mm-hmm. As opposed to barbarian that we've already talked about, where there's some things you can do, but not nearly as many options. Yeah. So I think S tier is a good one. Okay, so we got bard. How about cleric?
I mean, that's gonna be your main healer.
Yeah, I think a cleric is damn near a necessity. And like I actually have I had to build a home rule. It's probably not my own. Probably others do this as well. I had to make a homebrew rule because I have 6 players in this party. Not one of them's a cleric. And
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, I know you have 6 people, but we have to negate this somehow. Of like, you're gonna need a healer. So my homebrew rule was that health potions are bonus actions, and everyone starts with a healing potions. But I'm gonna leave it up to you all to buy them.
Yeah, you start with one, you get one free pass.
Yeah, you get 1 or 2, and then I eventually was like, okay, so a lot of loot they find typically has a greater healing, potion of healing or something, to help mitigate that. And then there's one character that hoards them, doesn't share them, doesn't use them.
No way. Yeah.
And they just heal themselves, which is so funny. But yeah, it's pretty wild. So I think it just depends. I think clerics are definitely necessary in battle because they can crank out some damage too if they want to. But
yeah, and I mean, yeah, I guess as a DM, because I DM Strahd with no clerics.
Oh,
and yeah, you're it's just. And some of the items that you find in there are for clerics specifically.
Oh, there's an amulet I'm thinking of, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's just you do have to kind of change the way you're DMing to fit, to make sure that they can actually they can actually heal themselves, which is the
right
potions. I mean, but okay. So other than healing though, what are other types of things that make clerics great? Because they can't take as much damage as a paladin,
right?
And as far as high damage spells, what do you got?
So again, it depends on the subclass, what your build is. I have a cleric of the forge, which is great, so I have a lot of fire spells and a lot of utility spells. If you go with the cleric of light, that's a lot of mass healing. But outside of healing though, I think with damage, some of them can learn fireball, some of them can learn technically necromancer. You can raise the dead, you can summon a lot of things.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a
would you build a necromancer class through a cleric or through a wizard?
Oh, wizard, you're right. Yeah. I was thinking, what am I thinking? I thought there was a grave cleric or something like that. I could be mistaken. Maybe there was a homebrew thing I was thinking of, but
I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's some ways you can tweak that.
Yeah, but I know with clerics you can do a lot of you can do quite a bit of damage with some spells out there. I know there's I'm trying to think of the one that I have that does Sunbeam. Sunbeam is a really powerful spell, and I got it early because of an item, but I can also learn Sunbeam. So Sunbeam, it does a lot of damage, especially when you level it up, upcast it. But it also just keeps repeating every round. So it's
That's right. Is it concentration?
It is. It is concentration, but you can just keep firing it off until you end concentration. I think it does 66 or something like that.
Oh, jeez, yeah. I was just looking at you do get a decent solid amount of spells you can cast each day.
Yeah,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say while from a utility perspective, obviously clerics are super great at keeping everyone alive, and it's I don't know, even just looking through their base features, a lot of it is strongly geared towards dealing with undead.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And while I think that as a healing class, that definitely steps them up pretty high, given some abilities to do a decent amount of damage. But I feel like there's a lot of things in cleric that kind of narrow it utility.
Oh, for
bit.
sure. Yeah, definitely less utility than a bard.
Yeah. So I think that might lower my ranking a little bit from that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I completely agree. Yeah, I think a cleric is so usefulness in a battle. I think way up there, but it's also not or effectiveness in a battle up there. But it depends on how you term effectiveness. So it's straight up damage.
Yeah.
Mid tier. But as far as necessity of like continuing the effectiveness of everyone being in the battle, 2 thumbs up. So I think
Definitely.
I think that for battle I'd give it A tier, B tier ish. And then what about social? Social's kind of middle of the road.
Clerics, I mean, aren't they by design like charisma casters?
Wisdom casters.
They're wisdom casters. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, that makes sense.
Yeah, they're really good with. I mean that's more role playing I think as far as social, but they do get most clerics do get a perk of you can easily find somewhere to stay. Due to like clergy. A lot of that comes from like background, but I think that's kind of built into the cleric of you can learn information from like different clergies or religions. You're automatically like allowed to stay under a house of faith if you're in good standing, that sort of thing. So I'm thinking B tier.
Yeah, I think at least B tier. If we were going off of the original tier list, or like the tiering of like how useful they are to the party. So I might actually just bump mine to A.
Bump it to A. Okay, yeah, A tier. I like it. I think, and it's also a classic staple as well. It's one of those things that's built in of like, hey, you have a job and you have to do it well, or we're not going to succeed.
Right.
And so that effectiveness really does come into play. If people are losing limbs, they're going to turn to the cleric.
Right.
If you losing limbs, call a cleric. Cursed, call a cleric.
Call a cleric. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing's worse than getting cursed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's. Oh man, I hate that. Whenever there's like a was it? There's a spell that does that. Isn't it like it's like minor curse or major curse or what is that?
Bestow curse.
Bestow curse. Yeah. Oh man.
Zia has that ability. I've never used it.
Does he really?
Yeah. One of the books one of the wizard books. Why can't I? Spellbook.
Spellbook. Yeah. Hey.
It's been a while.
Stronghold. Thank you for the
what's up?
resub. What's up? 13-month streak.
Wow.
Dang. A year plus one.
Oh.
Nice. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Um,
I'm bad with money. I mean, and in terms of Twitch, I think you're great with money.
You're the best.
I'm kind of biased, but so yeah. Final resting place for the cleric. No pun intended. A tier.
A tier.
A tier. Okay. All right. Next up, we got Druid. Ooh, this is a tough one.
I have not, since my time switching from Pathfinder to 5e, I haven't played in a game with a druid, where one of my players was a druid, or I was a druid.
No way.
Yeah, or one of my party members was, yeah. So, I know that, yeah, it's a lot different. I might not have the best opinion here.
Wow, okay. Hey, Smoothie, thank you for the Prime sub. Way to make Bezos pay for it.
That's how you do it.
For 14 months. Nice. We got a hype train getting close. Okay, friends.
Heyo.
I see you out there, you little busy bees. One upper.
Druish.
Yeah, a Druish. That's crazy. Except for except for Legends, I've had a druid in every campaign. That's wild.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm speaking from like the mechanics aren't like terribly different from Pathfinder to
True.
to 5e, but as far as I'm trying to think of like the utility things that are inherently useful with druids for the party. Do druids allow you to travel through like wilderness easier as a party?
I believe so. I don't know if it's as a party though. I believe there's a limit to that. It kind of works like Dimension Door, I think, where there's like a limit of how many people can go through it. I know in like Vox Machina, you can do like a tree.
Oh yeah,
like travel through tree, but I think it's really similar to like travel, like shadow travel. Where is that spell though? I do forget. I think I have
the tree one or the shadow.
The tree one. Isn't there one? Tree Stride, that's it. Yeah, so I think it is it's yourself. Yeah, I think it's just you that can do that.
Yeah.
Hey, Stronghold gifting a tier 1 sub to Ronan. Nice.
Hey.
Heyo, you've gifted 630 subs.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
We don't always get to react with the number that you've.
Yeah, we really don't get to react too often when we're on stream. So let me take this moment to say, damn.
Damn.
Damn. There was a time I was all in. Heck yeah, man. Dude, I love it. Thank you so much. And congrats, Ronan. Look at that. And we're that much closer to a hype train, friends. Just that much closer. So yeah, I think Tree Stride is it's a magical link between a large or larger inanimate plant. It's any distance though, but it has to be the same plane of existence. So that's pretty dope. But I think they've fixed that to just be like for self.
Oh really? It's not for the party anymore?
Yeah, it says range of yourself. Yeah. Tree Stride is a self thing.
Even in the description, it doesn't say like it's open for a certain amount. You just through trees.
Yeah.
Wow.
You gain the ability to enter a tree and move from inside to another tree of the same kind within 500 feet.
So it is only within. There's a distance of 500 feet.
Yeah, there is a distance. Wow. Yeah, wow.
Is there another version?
I feel like there is. I feel like there's a larger version of this, or it might be a modified version of this.
Yeah. Transport via plants. Wait.
Pass plant?
Yeah, transport via plants is the name of the spell.
Is it?
It's not a great name for a spell.
Is that in 5e though? Or is that from? Because I know that was in Pathfinder.
I'm on the compendium and hold on. I got the book right here.
Yeah, open that book. Let's see what we got here.
Transport. Yeah, it's right here.
Transport via
page
plant.
283 of the Player's Handbook.
Oh, okay, so this is a 6th level conjuration. Yeah, a magical link within range of another plant, any distance. Okay, that's what I was reading. I mixed up the two. Yeah, okay.
Interesting. Tree Stride is pretty interesting, though.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've heard people using that because, like, if you're in combat in like a forest, it's a concentration spell. So, would that mean that you could, in theory, continue to transport between trees?
Yeah. think so. I mean, it's one action, so you'd kind of be limited if you're in battle.
True.
Uh,
It's like
yeah, for 1 round. So for the duration, any creature
Okay.
can step into the target plant and exit from the destination plant, but you have to use 5 feet of movement. Gotcha. Okay. And you have to have had touched the destination plant.
that is that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, that's like a summoning circle.
Yeah, I imagine the druid just always making a point. It's like, oh, before we leave town, I touch that tree.
Yeah, every time. Tree touch.
I had a player when he was a druid, like just to fuck with me. He would always ask me what kind of trees were they, like in whatever place we're at. I was like, you're in a forest. It's like, what kind of trees are they? And I was just reading the tree stride description, and it has to be you can only travel between trees of the same type.
Yeah.
I can just imagine being a total asshole and being like, all of the trees are different, and just start naming like 100 trees types. Yeah. It's like none of them are the same. You can't travel.
I genuinely want to believe that that's how Brennan Lee Mulligan became so knowledgeable on birds, was that there was something in a D&D campaign that forced him to learn a lot about birds. And then he just found, like, he just, like, leaned into it. I feel like that's what happened. Because if someone did that to me...
led to passion.
Yeah. Pain for pleasure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You got to get to know the tree first before you start touching. That's true. I mean, you got to do it.
Gotta ask. Consent.
I've been playing a lot of Diablo, not a lot, but I've been playing Diablo 4 recently, and every time that there's a new portal, you have to go and touch it before it activates.
Okay.
And me and my friends that play together, everyone's like touch. We just like chant touch, so that way everyone remembers to go do it. Because then if you don't portal, it's super annoying to have to run all the way back. So we just like stand around it until everyone gets to like touch.
That's amazing.
It's great. So druids are pretty stellar in combat. Again, pretty versatile. You got wild shapes. You got summoning.
Do druids also have pets?
Yeah, I believe
pets?
they can. I know I thought it was rangers and druids for animal companions.
Mm-hmm.
If a druid can't have an animal companion, then we need to riot. But yeah, no, I think they can. Yeah, because I know they have one in Vox Machina, and she's a druid.
No, she's that's.
Oh no, she's a ranger. That's Trinket.
The ranger, yeah.
Yeah, shit. Foiled by my own reference.
I know in Pathfinder you can have it.
Yeah, I believe that I don't think anyone should not be able to have an animal companion, but
that's true.
They can definitely summon one if they don't have one. So yeah,
okay,
I think.
But how do we feel about, like, as far as party dynamics goes? What is your argument for druid usefulness to the party?
Ooh, that's tough. Scenario based, I think it's very scenario based. This is gonna come off harsh. I don't think druids are necessary.
Hot takes,
man. Let's upset the internet. I don't think druids are necessary. They're cool as hell, but I don't think they're necessary. They're definitely helpful, obviously. But they're really, I think that they're party dynamic. I think they're great for navigation, and they have some versatility in their wild shape. So that way, if you don't have a magic user that can cast polymorph, it could really help. So I think that's really good as far as versatility, because it can pretty much transfer or transform into anything.
Yeah.
So I think as far as a party effectiveness, I'm gonna give it like B tier, C tier.
Yeah. I know. I would agree on like the travel super useful in transportation, and great for scouting, along with like a rogue.
Yeah.
With wild shape, you know, you can turn into a fly or whatever, or a mouse or something, and like do some scouting. But if you're caught, you don't have like the same kind of get out plan as like a rogue, you know?
True. That's true.
Evade.
I mean, druids have some pretty powerful spells, but it takes a minute for them to get to that point. Similar to a wizard.
Yeah.
But I think the druids are honestly, I think they are underrated, but you have to be a really smart player in order to fully use them effectively.
Yeah.
So for that, I would say I would probably give them
I might go with C tier.
Yeah, I'll go with
you go
C
B.
tier.
You got B.
B tier, C tier. I mean, and also they don't really add too much with social unless you're in a nature-esque environment.
Yeah.
But again, that's all personality. But.
Yeah. And is it also true like they can't have or wear anything like metal?
I believe that is true. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's a specific subclass, but I do believe druids they're not supposed to. So I think they're limited to medium armor.
They're like metal vegans.
Yeah, they're metal vegans. That sounds so hardcore.
Is that leather? Yeah, metal vegan.
It's a good band name.
It is a good one.
Yeah, I don't know. Chat, what do you think? B tier or C tier for druid?
How do you feel about this one, Ronan? Kind of tough.
It is tough, man. I don't know what to pick here. I really don't.
Yeah, I'm looking at. Oops. It's all right.
I mean, there's some really good. I mean, they got some really good spells.
Oh yeah, and I mean, definitely not arguing their personal effectiveness. It's just the party dynamic. Yeah, I don't know. I think. How do you know like wild shape? How it differs from say like polymorph?
Yes. So with wild shape, and I don't know if this is about polymorph, but with wild shape, you have to have had seen the creature you're transforming into.
Mm-hmm.
So that limits it quite a bit. I know it's also, I think it's a concentration, and you're limited to how many times you can do it. And the bonus though is that I don't know if this works the same for polymorph. Is the HP gets added. So if you were to be a druid, does that work for the same for polymorph, where you also gain the HP of whatever you're transforming into?
Yeah, and then if you take damage that knocks you out, it carries into your
right. I think that works the same way.
It's surprising.
Yeah.
Beast shape, like up to. You can only, at max, even at 8th level, you can only turn into a maxed CR rating of 1.
Yeah.
It's surprising.
Yeah, that's...
So they are beasts, pretty much, only, yeah.
Yeah, and you also can't cast any spells or anything. I think that's also in polymorph, too.
Yeah, you can't cast spells. Ronan's going with B, so...
B tier.
I think we can bump it up to. B.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's definitely a benefit to that. I also forget that I've never really dealt with high level druids, but I was just looking at starting at level 18, the primal magic that a druid wields causes you to age slower. So every 10 years that pass is only 1 year physically.
What?
So that's pretty cool.
I've never even read that.
Yeah.
That high level, timeless body.
Yeah. Look at the one below it though. The beast spells. Did you see that one?
Oh, so you can cast.
Yeah.
your druid spells in wild shape.
At level 18, yeah. That's
pretty-
terrifying to think about. Can you imagine like a giant ape just casting Call Lightning?
Right.
That's terrifying.
But you couldn't be an ape because it's too high of a CR.
I thought a giant ape was CR1. Am I wrong?
No, like giant ape is one of those like, I think the two best polymorph creatures you can be is like a T-Rex and a giant ape.
Okay.
As far as like CR.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Ronan brings up another good point that druids also have pretty decent like healing.
Oh yeah. That's a good point. Touche. All right. Well, Druid's gonna stay in B tier. All right. We're bringing back a classic here. A fighter. Oofta.
The most commonly played class, and I don't know anyone. I don't play any games with fighters.
I've had one or two, but like,
that's not true. I've DM'd 2 fighters.
Yeah, I've had one person play as a battle master, and those are pretty cool. But man,
I mean, Action Surge alone is awesome.
Yes, completely.
Like, that is such a cool feature. You're just like, you know what? I don't really do that. Like, I don't have a lot of creativity, but I can do my turn twice. Like,
yeah, or I can do my turn and something else, whether that's like hold open the door or like lift the thing, do the thing, while also cutting people to bits. Yeah, fighters. I mean, fighters are a staple for a reason. I think that are they completely necessary? No, but they're definitely going to be able to have a lot more utility than a barbarian. I also
think they have more utility than a barbarian.
I do. I think just because of the natural build, they're able to do more. They can use any weapon. They have proficiency with all weapons and armors. They have basically an extra turn pretty early on. And then they also they can be built for a lot of different reasons. I know Battle Masters can help with tactful stuff, whether that's offense or defense. So that's pretty big utility wise. They also have really good defensive reactions like riposte and like if someone misses you, you can get an opportunity attack instead of them moving by you. It's real. I mean, a fighter basically comes with like pre-built-in feats, which is pretty rare among all the class types.
Yeah, I can't imagine it. Yeah, I feel like if it's has better utility than a barbarian.
Yeah, a barbarian I feel like is great, but I don't think it's very good with utility. Like, it's kind of like
is a fighter really a tank though? Because like, what's their dice hit die?
I think it's a D8.
D8.
Might be a D10.
Okay, it's a D10.
Okay, yeah.
So you get and max is a D12, right, with the barbarian.
Yeah, it's a D10 plus a Constitution. So they have proficiency in all armor and shields and any simpler martial weapons. They're great.
Oh, you get second win at first level.
Yeah,
I forget that's a feature.
Yeah, built-in healing. You automatically get an extra +1 to your AC. You automatically get a +2 to attack rolls with ranged weapons. That's
okay.
for your fighting style. Yeah, you can do archery, defense, dueling, great weapon fighting, protection. Protection fighters are great because if you're within 5 feet of someone else, you can cause disadvantage, and that's like first level.
That's just one of the fighting styles.
Yeah, I like a defense fighter.
Got it. Okay. I feel like we're already stacking these pretty close to the top.
True.
I'm worried that we have a bias to get them
to positivity.
Positivity. We're two nice guys.
Two nice guys having a nice time. Yeah, you know what? Fuck fighters. They're C class.
Just throw F class.
F for fighter. No, I think honestly I'll go fighter. I think I will say this. As much as a fighter brings to the table, they're very, very bland as far as like they're like a fighter's a great first character. Like it helps you learn.
Easy to play.
Yeah, it's a character on training wheels, and the same with it doesn't really add to social either because you can kind of build it from, like a very middling. Like it's all about personality with the fighter. There's no like kind of pre-built-in modifier. I love fighters. I think that they're not completely necessary to party dynamic. They offer a lot more utility than a barbarian in fighting, but they really don't add too much else. So I'd say C tier or B tier. C tier, B tier.
Yeah, I would say if they have a higher utility than a barbarian, then we might need to change our barbarian to C.
Yeah, I think I might swap these
fighter into B.
Yeah, I think that's the way we go. Betty is slowly simmering somewhere. Betty, if you're watching this isn't your barbarian. It's generic build.
You have wild magic.
Yeah, you do have wild magic. Girl, you wildin' out here. Okay. I think that's pretty much it for fighter. I don't really have anything to comment on social wise. For like social interaction for a fighter, it's really how you play the character on that one.
Yeah. Agree.
Okay, monk. We got ourselves a monk out here. Monks are tough. Fighting style, they're a dex build. They can move so much. Their turns take forever.
For how much they can move around, how many attacks they end up getting.
Yeah. And then plus
stunning strike.
Yeah, stunning strike is a huge one. Stunning somebody is a massive blow. You can do speaking of blow, fury of blows.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got I had a guy build he built an Aarakocra monk with the movement feat.
Oh god.
So he could fly.
How fast can he move?
I think it was 100, almost 150 feet flying per turn.
Per turn. Just
like if he dashed also. Like it might have been 160 or more.
Jesus.
I think he had 80 feet. I think he was up to 80 feet, and then with dash he could do double. But yeah,
crazy.
it was wild.
I run back to my house and grab a healing potion and come back.
That kind of stuff. Yeah, it was nuts, man. So yeah, it was. I think monks can be broken. They're as far as fighting, they're incredible with especially with key points. They're almost overpowered because their key points don't count as magic. And that negates a lot of tags that are out there as far as the rules are concerned. Because if there's I forget the name of it, but it's the beholder eye that like has like a zone of like no magic.
And the
anti-magic field.
Field.
Yeah, like that doesn't affect a monk. They can still do all their key points. So it really is sort of a way to get around that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Eric?
I mean, I think again, it kind of falls into these fighting, like these melee classes that are like, does a monk fighting in close combat provide more utility than like a fighter to the group? Like, and if not, I would rank it either with the fighter, or is it more specialized, like kind of the barbarian, which like barbarian would be, you know, tank taking in a lot of the hits, where a monk could potentially evade those. So like where it wouldn't be taking like, you know, a bunch of damage, it would be just, you know, taking it or like evading them all.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think because evasion is insane, especially with the key points. I'm trying to think. They have a 1d8 hit dice. They use a Constitution modifier. They're built on strength and dex. I'm just kind of looking at it. They're also a small drawback, but could be better, is as long as they're not wearing armor or a shield, their AC is 10 plus dex plus wisdom. So if you have, you know, if your dex is +4 and your wisdom is +2, that's automatically 16 AC. I mean, level 1. And that's
so early on, awesome.
Yeah.
That degrades once you get to like 5th level.
Yeah, that's diminishing returns for sure. You can use dex instead of strength for attacking damage rolls that for unarmed strikes and monk weapons. Let's see here. They have key points.
But yeah, well, I mean, getting back to, you know, usefulness in like to a party, and I think we can kind of categorize it into like combat, social, travel, not just travel, but like I would include like scout travel and survival kind of things. Socially, I don't know if a monk provides more utility than, you know, a druid or a fighter or something.
Yeah, I think these three are kind of on the same tier. I feel like barbarian tends to cause issues socially, typically.
Which can be the fun part.
Be the fun part for sure. Yeah.
They get people into situations that everyone has to get out of.
Yeah. I mean, they'll get them into the situation and then they'll fight their way out. And now you have a bigger situation. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think we're both thinking the same thing here. What do you think about B tier for a monk?
I think I'm good with that.
Okay. Yeah, B tier monk, B tier. Keep on. Okay, paladin, S tier. Moving on, ranger. No,
you used my wizard joke that I was going to make at the very end. And
damn it!
Like, I'm so funny.
I'm sorry. Oh man. No, I love paladins. I pick paladin. If I could, I'd pick a paladin every single time, because that most closely relates to my actual real world want of decisions. Which is boring, but it's also very true. I can roleplay a paladin just by being myself of like, oh, no. Nope. I refuse to do anything remotely illegal. No.
I heard remotely legal.
Yeah, illegal.
Nothing legal here.
Yeah, we're an Oathbreaker paladin. No, paladins, they're the sword and board heroes of D&D. They plus healing and some offensive extra boosted smiting.
Yep.
Thoughts?
You got close combat, you got casting, and healing. I think versatility in combat is awesome. I think paladins are typically like, you know, the trustworthy character to keep people on track. I think as a DM, you're typically looking for like some sort of guiding principles to hopefully keep the crew together. And whether or not that's like a bard or a paladin, I think they typically take those roles as the unassumed or like unofficial like leader.
The moral anchor of the group.
That's a better way to put it.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I think that, and it's not always the case, but I think that's typically. He plays a chat saying they play a rogue and they're the team leader. Hey, that's one way to lead a team. You know.
I'm going in. Where'd he go? And then chaos ensues.
I said I'm going in.
Yeah.
So yeah, Paladin. They're great effectiveness. They got a lot of versatility, both offense, defense, and healing. They have a little bit of spell casting, as well as high AC. Their damage output's great. Socially, I think you're absolutely right on the nose there, Eric. I think they tend to lead social conversation quite a bit, and in a good way. That the DM's like, thank you, please don't be murder hobos.
Right. You can actually keep a coherent story going.
Yeah.
With the paladin.
Right. Hey, Paulie, thank you for the sub. 17 months.
Hey, welcome.
Have we had a channel for 17 months? Holy hell.
Yeah, you've been a subscriber since before we even thought about Swole Initiative Network.
Yeah, the before times. Damn. What's up, Paulie? How you doing? Thank you for the sub. So yeah, Paladin. I'm thinking, Eric. I'm thinking A tier.
I'd put it up with the A tier.
I jokingly said S tier, but I do think Paladin's worth A tier, just because I think it's on par with a cleric, but can also do maybe not as much healing, but I think it makes up for it in social situation and also combat.
Which is funny because if you look at where we placed it, you know, it's kind of drawing in some of that bardness from the social. Where it's on par with the cleric, like not as much as a cleric can like actually heal, but it brings in some of those characteristics, and also, you know, the fighter and the monk like combat from boosting, putting it up there.
Yeah,
a little bit,
yeah, we're lifting it up. We're lifting it up. Nice. Saving throw support for sure. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Saving throw support is huge. What is a paladin's like base stat? I always like going back to this because I tend to like forget like base stats because I always start at like level 3 nowadays. Which is my own fault, but I thought it was 1d8 for. Oh, it's 1d10 for counts to count for the.
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah, you get
amount of hit points.
Nice. They can wear all armor, pretty much all weapons, and their I believe their spell casting is wisdom. But yeah, they can heal. Man, that's dope.
Heal from first level, yeah. Lay on hands.
That was huge. I played a paladin in Chris Estrad when I was a player. And I didn't know, that's when I didn't know anything about it. And I was like, they're like, that's going to really help you to be a paladin. I was like, what?
Okay.
That sounds great. Yeah. Why is that good? And then I found that amulet I mentioned earlier. And I was like, oh.
You're like, well.
By the power of the sun, I will smite you. So yeah, paladin, A tier, nice. Okay, let's talk about this one.
Here comes the controversial ranger.
Yeah, let's talk about the redheaded stepchild of D&D character classes, the ranger. A really hot topic.
We starting them at B class now?
Oh, I just was making it stand out. Yeah, we can put it. We're at C class.
I see what you're saying.
So rangers,
I just wish they had a little bit more.
Yeah, they did beef them up in the past, like in like extra surplus stuff. Like I know they did like a what is that new ranger class they had? Not Gloomstalker, but I think it was like something like Portal Hunter or something like that, or like.
Is that in a new book?
I can't remember what it's called. It might have only been like a play test too. I thought that was like a thing. Oh dang it! I'm on the wrong search button. I keep getting an error. It's like ding ding.
Go.
Hey, yeah, what's up, Onyx? Oh, I found it. It's
which one is it?
It's a Horizon Walker. So yeah, Horizon Walker. They guard the world against threats that originate from other planes. They seek out planar portals and keep watch over them. They're also friends to any forces in the multiverse, especially benevolent dragons, fae, and elementals that work to preserve life. So you can like detect portals. They have a thing called Planar Warrior, which as a bonus action, choose one creature you can see. The next time you hit them, all damage dealt to them is now force damage, and they take an extra 1d8 force damage.
That's cool.
Yeah, they can do like Ethereal Plane, Ethereal Step, which is basically like Blink, which is cool.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, Horizon Walker. That was a newer one. I think that was added. I forget when it was added, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and even in Tasha's, they added some extra features in there. I think that the players that I've had that have ran Rangers, I feel like with favored enemy or like favored terrain, like if you're a DM, like you need to make your DM aware of those things, and you also have like if you don't have a DM that reciprocates that,
yeah,
then it just goes like right out the window. And like favorite enemy and like favorite terrain is like kind of the first features you get, right?
Right. Yeah. So if they know the setting of the campaign prior, and they pick that, like I right now I'm running the Rise of Tiamat campaign, the double module. Yeah. And all they knew was it was like it was just Tyranny of Dragons, and they're like, my favorite enemy is dragons. I was like, damn it.
Like, but I mean, like you gotta give it to him though. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not mad, but he was. There's also like I think it's called like Giant Slayer or something like that, or Colossal Slayer. Colossus Slayer, I think, where it's like you kill an enemy that's of a certain size or something, you get extra damage or something like that. It's real wild.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. There's you can pick one of three: Colossus Slayer, Giant Killer, or Horde Breaker. And yeah, I know Colossus Slayer, does add like a pretty decent amount of damage early on. The player I had did Colossus Slayer, and that's an extra like 1d8.
Yeah.
When it's already been attacking any enemy that's already been damaged.
Right.
So like early on, like an extra d8 swinging a sword is
that's
pretty,
huge.
Pretty
good. And they have Hunter's Mark.
Hunter's Mark, yeah. So yeah.
I mean, it's pretty decent, but again, with the Ranger, it doesn't really bring a lot of versatility. It's really good on like, it's literally a hunter. Like it's like, there's not much from a social aspect. Like everyone wants to say, oh, this is the Aragorn class. I'm like, Aragorn's a fighter. Let's be real. They call him the Ranger, but he's a fighter. He uses a bow like one time, and he's not even outside.
Yeah.
He's under a mountain when he does that.
He may have taken 1 level in Ranger.
Yeah, he took 1 level in Ranger just to use a bow.
Right.
And to like...
And natural explorer.
Yeah, and be friends with his horse, Bill.
This is actually, that's the one I was thinking of. Difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel as a ranger.
Nice.
Which I thought was a druid thing, but that's not druid at all.
Gotcha. Yeah,
So,
I mean, what do you think about that though? I don't know where to put this. I don't know where to put the ranger. I want to say B class, but I also want to say C class.
I feel like if we don't put anything... Going back to like what we were saying of like, is this class like necessary in a group? I would say no.
Yes. True.
I would say, as far as combat goes, like while it can keep up with combat. I don't see a ranger combat as being like standout.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. It definitely does not really stand out.
Poor rangers indeed. I think offered really great role play. It doesn't mean they're not fun to play. But yeah, I would argue C class. And if we're not, yeah.
C class?
Never really, yeah. I wouldn't put it above C class.
C class it is. Poor Rangers. Yeah, they get shit on pretty hard.
I just wish they what is it? Beastmaster?
Yeah, okay, that
like,
I agree with you here. That's
way sucks. Better.
Yeah, that sucks. That's awful.
Like, who doesn't want to just have like the best animal companion, and like you just don't get it? Like that's so not fair.
Yeah, it's not great. What was I gonna say? I think C tier is good for that. Let's see here.
I don't think we're gonna get anything in a D or an F tier.
I'm gonna. I think we will.
Okay.
Let's see here.
You're right. Yeah, damage kind of falls off.
1 second here. Sorry, I'm looking something up really quick. Okay, I think I got it. Nice. Okay. So yeah, let's move on to the others here. So we're gonna keep Ranger in C tier. Okay. How about a Rogue? A classic.
It is a classic. I mean, Rogue's gonna, I think, from a scouting perspective, top tier. Like I don't think you can really get better than Rogue. I mean, unless you turn it into, like an animal of some sort. But they can get in, they can get out, and they can deal insane amounts of damage. Like sneak attack just starts getting like really crazy.
Yeah, I have a whole bag of sneak attack dice that I just roll.
Yeah.
Like I bought a whole set of D6s just for that. So yeah, I think with sneak attack damage, and also there's a lot of really good early feats. Not feats, but like I guess class features. The dodge, disengage as a bonus action, or hide.
Disengage is crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts. Even the dodge. I mean, if you could get a fireball at level 2 or 3, and if you take the disengage as a bonus action or dodge as a bonus action, that's already half damage.
Yep.
So the cunning actions are really, really cool. But yeah, I think, and socially rogues are are really, really good, but on the opposite end of the like paladin, cleric, bard, because rogues you are like
Chaos.
yeah, because in every campaign, almost every campaign, you're gonna be like, we need to find somebody that knows about this stuff. Like everyone needs a shady friend, and your shady friend is the rogue.
100%. Yeah.
So I think with those two stipulations on how we're approaching this, I think it's great party dynamic. You really need someone who can get in and get out, like you said. You need someone with that stealth. Yeah, I think pretty straightforward on this one. Eric, what else you got for it?
I think I would probably put it into S tier.
S tier. Okay. I agree. I do agree. I think Rogue is one of the few that goes into S tier. It's so important. And there's very few without homebrewing, there's very few classes that can pick locks. Unless it's a spell.
That's true. Yeah. And I think thinking about different types of not just as a party, but as a DM, like coming up with fun things for your players to do. It's always good to have a rogue, knowing that the party can get through something stupid if they have a rogue going. Stupid.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think the rogue is definitely going to be an S tier for that reason alone. The swashbuckler. Swashbuckler rogues are pretty fun. I do like swashbucklers. Masterminds are really cool if you play a political campaign like the Waterdeep campaign, the Waterdeep module. That's really cool if you play the mastermind, because then you basically become Jarlaxle of like you're just incredibly smart. You just can't be fooled.
I'm not familiar with the mastermind.
Is it mastermind? I think it might be called something else.
Is it a specific archetype?
Yeah, I believe it is. 1 second here. Characters. Rogue.
So there's a arcane trickster.
Yeah, I thought it was a mastermind. I could be wrong.
Is that in? Maybe it's in one of the expansion, like Tasha's or something.
Arcane Trickster. Mage Hand. There's Assassin. Inquisitive. Maybe I'm thinking of Inquisitive. No, it's Mastermind. There we go. I'm not sure when that came in, but yeah, Mastermind. I thought Mastermind was one of the core books.
Is it?
It might be. I thought it was.
I think the three rogue archetypes. Thief, assassin, arcane trickster. As per the player's team.
Let's see here.
But in any case, what does Masterminds focus specifically on, like, intelligence?
Yeah. So the let's see. Oh, it was introduced during the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, and later republished in the Xanathar's Guide. That was gonna bug me if I didn't find that. So you have a Master of Intrigue, Master of Tactics, and then Insightful Manipulator. So Master of Intrigue, you automatically gain proficiency with Disguise kits, Forge kits, and Gaming set dice. And then you also get to use you can use help as a bonus action, and additionally when you use help to aid an ally in attacking a creature, you can use help to aid an ally attacking a creature. The target of that attack can be within 30 feet of you rather than 5 feet of you. Yeah, so it's like later on, like you spend a minute observing or interacting with another creature outside of combat, you can learn certain information about its capabilities. So that's why I said like a political one. If you are talking to someone, you get a slight edge on them just by watching them.
Yeah.
You learn their intelligence score. You can learn 2 of the following characteristics, whether they're intelligence score and wisdom score, charisma score, or class levels if they have any.
Interesting.
So you can kind of
that's leaning into Bard there.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. There's like misdirection, so you can use your reaction to have the attack target a different creature rather than you. So it's kind of like it's just really, really neat.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, they're not used too often, but I've always wanted to build one. I just never had a campaign setting to actually run with it.
Yeah. You're not gonna do it in Strahd.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Yeah, I open this tomb and I look at him for 1 minute. Yeah, Onyx, absolutely. I love your enthusiasm for Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Yeah, that was one of my favorite books.
That was my favorite until Tasha's came out.
Yes.
Tasha's just like huge.
Well said, Eric.
Still a great book. Still a great book.
Yeah, I like the artwork for Xanathar's Guide more than I like Tasha's. They're both great, but I like the Xanathar better. Just tickles my fancy more. So Rogue is S tier. Next up is Sorcerer, and if we're talking about Ulsa, F tier. Sorry. Oh no.
Oh, she popped in for a sec. I missed that.
Yeah, she's like, my Sorcerer's where?
It was below F tier. So
yeah, I guess I gotta add a tier. Oh no.
Oh, there she is.
Hey, what's up, girl? So yeah, Sorcerer, the emo kid of the group. That and Warlock. That Warlock and Rogue are all pretty the emo kids.
What?
Huh?
All right.
What are your thoughts, Eric? Let's start us off on this one.
Well, I mean, Sorcerer, like having the ability to change, what's the meta magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you get like all those different ways of changing your spells. It's like twin spell, like you upcast it. Like those are pretty solid. I think that as a caster, let me just like, you can't get more powerful spells than I think a sorcerer. Like you can do some major damage with sorcerers.
Yeah.
More so than, you know, a warlock. I don't know where I'd place it though.
Yeah, so let's go back to those core questions. How effective is a party?
A party member, that's true.
How effective is a party member, both socially and in battle?
That's right. Yeah, that's interesting. What is Font of Magic? Oh, that's where you get your sorcerer points.
Yeah.
I think as far as a spellcaster, like, yeah, it's going to be very specific to combat. Because, you know, I don't think sorcerers can get, like, you know, the ability to heal. I don't know how many, like, transportation type spells a sorcerer can get. Yeah, that might hurt them.
It's true. Yeah, that they are limited. Like, it is literally like the genie being imprisoned. It's like ultimate cosmic power,
right?
But limited.
Yeah, it is pretty specific.
Yeah, there's I have so many feelings. Also,
divine sorcerers. Yeah.
Yeah, the divine sorcerers are great. I love wild magic sorcerers, always a classic. So I do think you had a good point on their meta magic though, with like basically being able to change what type of spell it is, whether that's a twin spell, a quicken spell, a safe spell, so you don't hurt anyone in your party with a fireball. There's extended spell, like you can basically have like spell sniper, subtle spell. Yeah, it's pretty nice to have. They can do quite a variety of spells. And then they also can do psionic stuff, which is really tough to combat.
What do the psionic spells do?
So psionic spells, it's like the aberrant mind, so it's like more telepathy, more control based. So
That's right.
dissonant whispers, mind sliver, calm emotions, detect thoughts, Evard's black tentacles. You can create telepathic bonds, telekinesis, and summon aberration.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And most of those being combat.
Oh yeah.
Very, very combat heavy.
Yeah, it's I think sorcerer's pretty good, but are they a staple as far as needing them in party dynamics? Maybe. I mean, I think they're good. I'm thinking B tier. Because I think they're versatile enough and they are powerful enough in both battle and outside of battle, because they are charisma casters.
That's true. And those are rare.
Yeah.
Well, like saving throw wise, like yeah, unless you're fighting an army of bards.
Yeah. For sure.
I'm good. I think I'm good with B tier. They have a thing they do and they do it really, really well. And
yeah, but they're also pretty versatile too. I think that they're not like they're just good. They're solid. Like I think that goes in line with what we said about druid, fighter, and monk.
it's true.
I think that lines up pretty perfectly.
Yeah.
So we're on to the last two here. The next one, the true emo boy, Warlock. How much do you like Eldritch Blast, Eric?
Though it is, as someone who's DM'd a warlock, it's like it's like a barbarian or like someone who's like, oh, I go in swinging, like I go and hit it with my sword or hit it with my axe. It's like Eldritch Blast. I think while warlocks have like such a great like you can get like really awesome backstory in there, and like that can really help kind of move things along in a campaign as to figuring out, who their, deity is and things like that.
Yeah.
The 2 spell slots, so limiting. And then it's just, if you really like blasting people.
Yeah, that is
I think
true.
that kind of hurts a little bit.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. They're kind of a one-trick pony. They have really cool, like I said, I think they have their really good vehicle for progressing story. They can produce a lot of cool moments, but for as far as we're even breaking this down, necessity in a party, utility in fighting and socially, not great.
Yeah.
Do I love a good warlock? Yes, please. I need all the emo magic boy in my life, or
100%.
girl, or whoever. I need all the emo magic user in my life. But dang, is it C tier, or is it D tier?
Or is it the D tier?
For our argument's sake, it's not our emotional attachment to it. Let's divide that. I think for what our conversation is, I really think it's D tier.
I feel like if this gets shared on the internet, we need to have a very clear title, because people are not going to like us very much.
Yeah, I'm going to put Eric's very specific hatred of warlocks.
Just Just throw Ranger at S tier then. Really throw them off.
Yeah, I'll be like, did they do this backwards? Did they not know how this works? Yeah, Warlock. I mean, I think Warlock could be C tier. I mean,
you have a lot of control. Like there's
there is
decent amount of control, and that can help in and out of combat.
Yeah. Let me look up a few things about Warlock. Maybe I don't know enough about it. I feel like I do, but I've played quite a bit of D&D in my day. But maybe I'm missing something. I didn't. This might get like a Warlock really feels like a really specific class to play. Kind of like what I said with the rogue subclass of Mastermind. That's really great for a really specific campaign setting.
Right.
Oh, Warlocks are charisma casters though.
Same as sorcerers?
Yeah, because our sorcerers are charisma casters, right?
I think we have something wrong. I don't think that's right. One of those. Am I wrong? I feel like I used to remember this differently.
I could be wrong. Maybe sorcerers use wisdom.
Charisma, you're right. Warlock is charisma.
And so is sorcerer.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, for some reason I thought they were different.
I thought they were different too.
Yeah, weird, man.
Yeah, okay. Well, fuck me.
Well, fuck us then. Yeah, Warlock. Charisma casters, so that might, I mean, that I think that gives them up a little bit of a pep. A little bit of pep in their step as far as our tier list is concerned. They have a bunch of pack magic, but
yeah. They have some like divinity as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because like and that's helpful, similar to like a cleric or something, like when you need information.
Yeah.
Like whenever you have like as a DM, it's much easier to provide divine guidance to players through like warlocks or paladins or clerics and things. So in that sense, I would say that they are useful, like to the group dynamic, and especially when it comes to like what to do next.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
that kind of, like, extra.
Yeah. I think that's exactly where we give them a bump up is exactly that. I think C tier though, not D tier for sure, but I think C tier.
I think C tier.
Yeah. I was trying to find like what's their level 20 max, and it's kind of lame.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's useful.
Eldritch Master.
Yeah, you can draw on your inner reserve of mystical power to regain expended spell slots. You can spend 1 minute entreating your patron for aid to regain all your expended spell slots from your pack magic feature. Once you regain them, you must finish a long rest to do so again. So this is like it's like a reset, but it's like that's not. I mean, I feel like that's great, but maybe I'm missing the implications of it. But it doesn't.
It would have been nice 10 levels ago.
Yeah, you know, I to not multi-class ever. I'll right. 20 for that. I'm like, eh.
Yeah, and even a 20th level Warlock's got 4 spell slots.
Yeah, that's wild. So yeah, I think C tier is good. C tier Warlock. Boom. Cozy Avalon says they think the Barb needs a bump up because it's going to be better within Ranger than It's got to be better than Ranger and Warlock.
That's a fair argument.
Told you. Here's the thing about that. We already talked about it.
We already talked about it. And we're sticking with it.
Yeah, if we go back now, we're gonna redo this whole list. No, I think barbarians are between B and C, but I'm not gonna bump it up to B yet. Because I love barbarians. This is my first character. It's the only mini I have printed from Hero Forge, at least in my possession.
Nice.
So I do have a soft spot for barbarians, but I also know that they are very barbaric. So yeah, we'll stick with that. And now to everyone's favorite class, Wizard.
F class.
Who even picks Wizard? What idiots.
What idiots. Especially human wizards.
Yeah, human wizards? Ugh.
So lame.
And especially if you make them super young, they don't know anything.
It's never been done before.
Oh man. Out the gate, I think Wizard's above C class.
I mean, I can make a lot of arguments for wizards, especially versatility in all three the situations. I mean, combat, heavy hitter, outside of combat, like any sort of random situation you might find yourself in, wizard could probably help you out there.
Yeah. Party necessity.
Party necessity. I mean, we learned that on our magical drug trip episode.
Yeah, I mean, they're a great guide for sure. For whatever trip you're
great
on.
Guys. Great guys.
Great guys. They're a good guide for whatever kind of trip you're going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with wizards, at lower levels, they're a bit of a glass cannon. But I mean, if the rest
I would say 1 to 4, they're like, you don't even really have much of a heavy hitter like spell yet.
Right.
Like 5th level, you get your, I think, lightning bolt and fireball. But like up to 4, like you're so squishy. Like,
yeah.
And you can't really help that much.
You're the little brother tagging along.
Yeah.
From levels 1 to 4, you're like, guys, I swear, if you just get me through these next few dungeons, I promise I'll make it worth your while. And then you hit level 5 and you're just like, yo, what up, scrubs?
Right.
So yeah, I really do think it is S tier, genuinely. It's
versatility.
You have almost every single spell at your disposal. There are incredible. There's so many benefits to having a wizard in your party. The combat, the versatility, the combat, and the social skills. I think it has all of it, and especially has all of it, which is more impressive because it's not a charisma-based class. It's an intelligence-based class, which is very, very rare.
Yeah.
And you need
are there
one
any
person.
other intelligence?
What's that? Yes, there are. I was actually going to bring that up, which brings me to my bonus round.
Bonus round.
I'm sorry. Do you want to talk about our wizards more? We can talk about wizard more.
I like them.
I think they're neat.
See, the thing I love about wizards, like, I mean, you obviously need to, like, when you're playing them, you need to plan what build you want to go in, and I find that part really fun, that like the character creation portion doesn't just end at the beginning. I can't tell you how long I've spent just like searching like wizard spells for when I level up next. I'm like, oh man, like, do I want to get like the next top tier spells, or do I want to like go back and fill in some blanks of like utility that I missed? And,
right.
And I think that part makes I think a wizard a fun character to play, because you're always still just like researching. And I mean, as a player of a PC, you have to be a little bit of a wizard, like going through your books and figuring out what.
Yeah, you really do. You really have to make it like it. Really, that's really good role playing, especially because I feel like every player does that and character does that. So
yeah.
Like you literally have to play through all of it. Let's see here. I'm trying to. I didn't realize I can't add to the list that was already there.
Oh.
So, but unless I
doing it manually.
Yeah, I'm doing it manually. Let's see, where did that go? Oh no. I just do the thing.
Yeah, I think generally we are. You and I can find the positives in anything. So.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, bonus round.
Oh yeah. Let's see here. I gotta edit this because it's not the right shape.
Damn thing.
Stupid thing with the editing. There we go. Copy, paste. There we go.
Nice.
Artificer.
Man, I want to play an Artificer so bad.
They're so much fun.
Have you played one?
I played one in the I think you were in it. It was like a tag team thing.
Wait, we're all like switching in and out.
Yeah. It was like a 24-hour.
That's right.
Battle royale.
Yeah. That was really fun.
So yeah, Artificer. They are the other intelligence-based.
Caster?
Caster, yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
So they get. Yeah, but they don't get like. They're not as powerful. Like it looks like, second level spells start at 5th level.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. That makes sense. But yeah, they've got like, I mean, I've always wanted to play an Artificer with just like a massive cannon. Like that sounds super fun.
Oh yeah, that's exactly how I did it.
Really?
Yeah, I was a kobold. I was a kobold with a cannon, and I made the character not to win, but to just shoot off confetti while others died.
Oh my god!
And I made it to like the final two or three people because everyone's like, "Don't touch him, he's cool," and I was like,
Yeah.
"It's working."
You really you got your way in a roundabout way.
I did. I wasn't even trying to survive. I genuinely just wanted to have fun with it. And I had such a blast. And
Yeah.
they're really cool as like they're a really cool gimmick. Like they're really neat as like a supplemental party character. Like, hey, what would be cool to have in this party that's already well rounded? Throw an Artificer in there, and all you can do is you basically just have a blacksmith with you.
Yeah. You can fit at into a slot that's needed, I think.
Oh yeah,
with an Artificer, because you can be a heavy caster. There's the thing where you can essentially be like an Iron Man, right? It's like the armor or something.
Yeah. You basically, it's kind of like what I have as a Cleric of the Forge.
Mm-hmm.
You can just create things, but you can also enhance items as well, permanently. So that's a really cool feat for the Artificer. Just like, hey, I can make this random tool, or I can improve this and make it a +1 or a +2, or even a +3, whatever it is. So that's really cool for like long campaigns.
Sure.
They have some cool class stuff later on. What was it? There's like a really cool feat that they have. Artificer.
Yeah, because the 3 specialists are Alchemist, Armorer, and Artillerist.
Mm-hmm.
So Artillerist is the cannon. It's like the Eldritch cannon, right?
Yeah. The Eldritch cannon.
Super dope. And can you, if I remember correctly, like the Eldritch cannon, you can like have like on its own, Like,
yeah, it operates like
it's
it's
become
like
like-
a companion.
right, which is nuts.
Yeah, so you can literally like roll it through a corner and just like run away and just be like fire, fire.
Yeah. And then the armor, like you get that really. There's like really cool features on. Yeah, thunder gauntlets. You get like the defensive field, the
Mhm.
lightning launcher, which like. Yeah, I always imagine that it's just like shooting out of your chest, but
Yeah, Iron Man style.
right.
Yeah, the cool thing, I always go straight to the level 20 thing with things. I kind of skip ahead. The level 20, the Soul of Artifice, which is also cool at level 14. It's very similar. Magical Item Savant and Soul Artifice. You basically you can attune to 6 magic items at level 18.
What?
And you ignore all class, race, spell, and level requirements on attuning to or using magic items.
That's insane.
So-
I've actually never read that before.
Yeah, it's so no matter what it is, you can attune to it. It's so cool. And at level 20, you basically
That's really funny.
get a +1 bonus to all saving throws per magic item that you have attuned. So that's 6. So +6 to all saving throws at level 20. If you reduce to
What?
0 and not killed, you can use your reaction to end one of your Artificer infusions, causing you to drop to 1 hit point instead. So you can do that 6 times technically.
Holy crap.
So you basically transfer damage to items.
Oh yeah, infused items. Yeah. And the
Yeah.
infused items can be anything from like are the infused items always like partially sentient, or are they just like
I
items.
think I don't know what they are. I think you can touch a non-magical object and imbue it with one of your Artificer infusions, turning it into a magic item.
oh, it just turns into a magic item?
Yeah.
What's the thing about them becoming like sentient?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Why? Is that not a thing? Oh no. Artificer infusions. You can do them in several different ways.
Ah.
Homunculus servants is a type of infusion that you can do. That's right. Which, I mean, talk about cool, like having the option for a cool companion. Like
Yeah.
having a built like robotic type companion, like that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's pretty sick. I mean, you can just also play a Warforged without a soul. But
That's true. But what is a Warforged without a soul? But maybe an Artificer's infusion.
Right. Uh-huh.
Whoa.
Get-
Oh
Getting
man.
into some deep cuts here. So yeah, I think Artificer, dope as hell, rad as hell. I think it's D tier though, because you don't need it. In combat, it's okay. And in social circles, it really doesn't bring anything to the table. So as far as our argument's
That's true.
concerned,
That's true.
not great. It's probably the best additional class if you're already well-rounded. And
I can
you
see
you
your
have to
argument.
get so far down the level tree to actually like really reap some benefits. Like if you're not at 10 level 10 or plus, it's kind of like Wizard, but it's worse in terms of needing levels to gain power. But once you get there, it is worth it. It's just a steeper incline.
Yeah. Okay, so I've never played an Artificer or have DM'd one,
Mm-hmm.
but like as far as like damage output from, I mean, so they're obviously not going to be as good of casters as like strength wise as like a wizard or like a sorcerer.
Yeah.
So like they've already kind of got handicapped there. But as far as like what they can do in combat, like, I mean, was the cannon particularly useful?
Yeah, the cannon was really useful. I do think that the warlock, the artificer does have quite a range of spells that are pretty powerful. But they're not really great. They're not a spell caster. They're kind of like a partial caster. So like one of the if you're an artillerist, you get shield and Thunderwave at level 3, and then at 5th level it's like Shatter and Scorching Ray. 9th level is Fireball and Wind Wall, which are pretty good. Third, and then once you get past that, it's like
level though. It's like
it takes you a while to really get cooking. And that's kind of my point with them is like there's a few others you can get Magic Missile at 3rd level.
Yeah.
Shatter again, Lightning Bolt at 9th level. But yeah, there's a few you don't really get a ton early on. Like as an alchemist, you can get Healing Word, Melf's Acid Arrow, Flaming Sphere at 5th, and then at 9th level you get Mass Healing Word, Gaseous Form. But at 13th jumps up to Blight, and then 17th level it's Cloud Kill.
But 17th that's you're.
Yeah, so I think honestly it'd be so cool to play, but I think for our conversation today, I think it's going into D tier.
I would agree with that. I think I was, thinking too much about a future character that I want to play, and it clouded my judgment.
Oh man, I did the same thing. I was like, oh, baby, it's so cool to do that. But yeah, as far as what we're gauging them on today, I think it's D tier for that.
Yeah, I guess they're not quite as good as anyone.
Yeah, they're not good as any other. I would pick every other thing before I picked an artificer, which is why I've only played it once in a one shot.
Yeah.
And then we have one last surprise here. Last one. Blood Hunter.
I also have never played or I've never been in a game with a Blood Hunter.
Same. And I think that's for pretty
F tier.
It is F tier. I am immediately putting it in F tier. They're not. Great. The theory of them are great. They're not bad. If you play one, you're not gonna have a bad time. You're gonna have fun with them. I promise. But it very much is a huge give for a not so great, or it's not. It's a huge give for a not so great take. You have to basically hurt yourself in order to do a modicum of magic, and you're it's like a ranger but worse.
Right. I was just thinking it's you have a specialist type of thing like the ranger, but then you have it's already limiting, or you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, it's not ideal. So it's just It's also the only one on this list that doesn't have an official grayed out image. So F tier just for my own aesthetics.
So what does that tell you?
F tier. And it's already red. No.
Already red.
But to go into it though, Blood Hunters are really cool. They're kind of like a warlock as far as story driven. They do a lot of really cool story driven moments. Definitely could be big on campaign specific. Which is cool. But I think outside of that, they can do some cool things like artificers, but they're not going to be, they're not crucial to party dynamic. They're not great in combat, and they're not great in social circles. Just because it's hey, there goes that guy that rips his skin off to do pyrotechnics. I don't know what that guy's deal is.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's I don't see it as anything else. If I had to put all of these classes together and there had to be one in F tier, it's got to be Blood Hunter. And I hate that I shit on it so hard, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I could definitely see why that. Yeah, your argument there that does make sense.
Do you? I kind of jumped the gun on that, Eric. What are your thoughts? It could be D tier.
As I said, I don't know if I have the best enough information about I've never seen them really played played out. Read about them. But I think I can understand where you're coming from there. Like, it seems like a similar problem that, like, the Artificer has, where there are just other classes that are just better at doing something specifically.
Yeah.
And general, yeah, I think, and like the downside of the Warlock, where, you know, there's could be really awesome story built into it. I think you run the trap of, how do you play a Blood Hunter that isn't like Edgelord?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually answered this question once because we were talking about this after one of my home games, and it's like, how do you run a Blood Hunter that's not like just a complete emo kid of like, I've been betrayed, and it's like,
right.
And someone came up with a really cool idea of treating it similar, like a Lycan curse, of the more that they hurt themselves, like, the more of the evil they're getting rid of, so they're trying to like hunt down the main person that cursed them. And so, like, the more that they do like their kind of magic, it kind of ebbs their temperament or slows the curse in a way.
Yeah.
Kind of like when I used to used to do like bloodletting in like olden times. They kind of like put a spin on it like that. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, it doesn't have to be like an actual stat of like that, but
right.
So they don't go mad or crazy or fall prone to this curse. They have to keep injuring themselves.
Yeah.
And they're using it, and they've turned it into a way that they can actually hunt what afflicted them. I was like, that's pretty cool. That's a neat way of twisting it, I guess.
Totally. But I think that lends more towards the social and like the role play aspect of it that would make it a fun class to play.
Absolutely.
But doesn't lend itself to how helpful and useful it is to the party as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 100%. It could be story driven. It's really good story driving. It's really cool, really fun to play, but it's also not as good as either of those two other classes, like Warlock or Artificer.
Right, right.
Yeah, there's only so much range you have with the Blood Hunter, unless you, like we said earlier, in a very specific campaign setting.
Totally.
But
it's good.
Yeah.
Good argument. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, gang, I think that's all I have. That's all I got for us. We've done it. We've done everything. What are your opinions? What are your thoughts on our list? I will be sure to put a title on this to clarify how we determined these different
classes we hate most.
Yeah, the classes we
Top
hate
to bottom.
most. Yeah, classes you'll disagree with. That'd be really funny to redo this as like the best class to go on a first date with.
Oh my god.
So pretty much the same.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I mean, yeah. The Bard, Rogue, and Wizard are getting they're most attractive as far as what you can do.
Right. I think I recently saw a post about Baldur's Gate 3, the video game. And it was like I got like a news alert because I've been following when the actual official release is gonna happen, because it's been like 3 years. So Baldur's Gate 3, they are like Baldur's Gate 3 adds in the ability to, as a human player, like make love to a druid in bear form.
Oh, I saw the same post.
And I was like, they what? But also, so druid might make it to the S tier list. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah, they know how we think. You know, like, they're a bunch of sexual deviants, those D&D players. They love sex jokes. And we sure do.
That is true.
So yeah, I think that's all we got, friends. I don't know when we're gonna do another one of these tier lists. Hey, Mayor Watt. They're a shifter stride. Ooh, swift stride, path of the beast barbarian. Ooh, a shifter barbarian would be terrifying.
S tier.
S tier. That barbarian's going S tier right there. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, that's wild. So what do we got? I think we're back this week on Friday, I think, with Fables of Gallia. Yes.
Yeah, they're back this week.
They're back in town. The gang is all back this coming week. Who's all out there this week? Who we got? Who can we raid? We got No Man, Magic RPG. Let's go to Magic RPG. Let's do that. Well, friends, thank you for being here. Eric, thank you for joining me on this Monday, just the two of us.
Yeah, it's a good conversation.
Yeah, you lovely soul, you. Friends, if you're not in the Discord, go check out the Discord. We'll be putting this tier list in there so you can officially give your own opinion on how badly we rated these classes. Put in your arguments. We're gonna go be raiding into Magic RPG. They're playing some D&D. We like that here, I guess. I don't know, maybe. But send them over with some raid emotes. Put those in the chat. Yeah, Mayor Watt, thank you for coming in. Thank you for the follow. Have a great night. Gang, we're gonna go over there and raid. Remember to stick around for the raid. You get extra channel and flex points that you can use in our live play games. And our next live play game is this Friday, Fables of Gallia. Be there or be square. Friends, have a great night. Thank you for being here with us. Bye.